And just like that, we're live. Um, we're live again. Consistency is good. Consistency is good. Thank you all for jumping on at this time. Obviously, this is a bit earlier than we normally go live, but I thought why not? Let's go early, and then we can go as long as possible and just answer as many questions as possible because we get hundreds of questions, hundreds, and I do want to answer as many as I can, but it can get difficult. I'm guessing this live is going to be 99% about Fabio Wardley, Joseph Parker. Try if you can and get questions in about other topics as well. I'll talk about other topics. Obviously, it looks like we are going to get a Derek Chisora versus Dillian White. I want your honest thoughts on that. I had a few heavyweights with me on stage. None of those heavyweights have got opponents yet. David Adelaide's fighting in Nigeria against we don't know who. Lawrence Okoli against we don't know who. Agit Kebiel, we kind of know who, but I don't think it's been announced yet. So it's like, what's going on? I feel like the heavyweight division's in this weird space at the moment. AJ, the big man, there's always talk of an AJ fight, but nothing. So yeah, let's not just talk Parker Wardley, which look, I get. Let's try and broaden it out a little bit as well. We have got Joshua Buatsi fighting this weekend against Zach Parker. I like this card. A light heavyweight feel to it. Obviously, Lyndon Arthur versus Bradley Ray. We saw Ezra Taylor against Steve Woodall. I do want your thoughts on where you think Ezra Taylor is when it comes to the light heavyweight division, because I did a video today on this channel and I was like, number one's Callum Smith. I do believe number two is still Buatsi, 3 yard, and then it kind of opens up a little bit. And I do wonder where Ezra is. He a top 6, top 7 guy? Did you have him? Would you have him above the likes of Willie Hutchinson? I don't, not yet. Craig Richards, Dan Aziz, Ben Whitaker, Lyndon Arthur. So look, there's a lot to get into. We're not too far away from Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. We're not far away from, I think, the best card on paper anyway. The Ring 4 card in Saudi, headlined by Benavidez versus Yard. Fingers crossed, no injuries, because I do desperately want to see Abdullah Mason, Sam Noakes. By the way, I give Sam Noakes a real good chance. I know everyone's quite high on Abdullah Mason. I've seen that guy hit the canvas a couple of times. I'm not as high as everyone else. And I think Sam Noakes punches very hard. Devin Haney looking very swole against Brian Norman. And then we have Jesse Bam Rodriguez, who's going to be so far down the card. It's weird. Like Jesse Bam Rodriguez is a pound for pounder. In terms of the pound for pound rankings, he is the highest ranked fighter on this card. But I'm believing that he is the full fight. So I'm guessing it's going to go Benavidez Yard. It's going to go Haney Norman. And then I'm guessing it might go Abdullah Mason, Sam Noakes. It really should be Jesse Bam Rodriguez in that. Tyson Fury was there. I didn't want to do any media, but it was nice that he came. Always good to see the big man. Hamza Shiraz was there as well. Looked $1 million. Looked $1 million. I think he's got something that he's going to announce soon. He will definitely get to 175 in the next 18 months. I mean, there are really good fights out there for him at 168. So as long as he's comfortable, I think he should stay at 168. But I'm starting to look at the 175 division, and all of a sudden, it's looking exciting, isn't it? It's looking exciting. So we'll see what he can do. All right, let's jump into the questions because, as I said, there is quite a few. Again, guys, girls, thank you so much for joining me on the live. We are trying to make these a bit more consistent. I think this is the 4th in a row, which must be some sort of record for me. I do want a consistent day. I really do want to make it Sundays, but it's quite difficult because we're traveling back from an event. But I do want a consistent time. So it might be Monday, 7 p.m. might just be sort of what it is for now. All right, let's do this. Kobe Garland, you and G-Man should do Froch versus Butte for the next look back. Kobe, either you are a fly on my wall or you have a secret camera in this house, because you're spot on. We are doing Froch versus Butte, the next one. We was actually going to do that instead of Lee Wood versus Michael Conlon but we chose Leeward Michael Conlan instead because it was a bit more relevant. But we are going to do Froch versus Bute next. That's coming up, dude. We're going to film that, I think, on Sunday. So it'll be out Monday. Freddie F18 says Wardley is never in a bad fight. Might become one of my favorite fighters to watch. Yeah, I said this. I think in terms of a fighter that brings you value, like if you buy the pay-per-view, which is obviously a lot of money, and or even if you come to the arena. So look, for those people that came to the fight, I don't know how much the ticket cost, but you're probably looking around 100 quid. Let's just say 100 quid, right? I mean, it could be more, it could be less, but let's average it at 100 quid. Hotels, expensive, food, travel. You're getting upwards of 500 quid. He is so much value for money. Look, that's a lot of money to spend for fight fans. It is, because ultimately boxing is a sport built on the working class, and it's a lot of money to spend if you're working class. But if you are going to spend it, you want to be entertained. Fabio entertains you more than any fighter in this country. There's not a fighter that comes close in this country, I don't think, to giving you value for money. In America, there's Benavidez, there's Virgil Ortiz, right? Where you know you're going to get action. Fabio's up there with them. He might be one of the most exciting fighters in the world, where you know this boy's going to entertain me. You look at his last 4 fights. Fraser Clark, the first one, fight of the year. Fraser Clark, second time, broke his face, violent. Justice Hooney, look at that, up and down, back and forth. He's getting outboxed and bang. And then this fight could have been fight of the year. Value for money. Another one from Freddie says, if Fury won't come back and AJ is continuing, who would you want him to face in a big fight next summer? Dubois for me. Honestly believe he can get that back. Yeah, I think that's a good shout. I think the get back's always good. Dubois now been dented a little bit as well because of the Usyk defeat. So if you are going to get Dubois, you kind of don't want to get him when he's on a roll. You want to get him when he's had a bit of a speed bump as well. If not Dubois, I mean, it's so dangerous saying Wardley, but Wardley? And that's scary now. Whereas a year ago, that's how much the heavyweight division's changed. Like a year ago, Wardley wouldn't even been in the conversation. Now, all of a sudden, if you were to ask people who wins AJ or Wardley, I mean, people are only going to remember what happened recently. So people are going to pick Wardley. So maybe Wardley's an option. So I'd say Dubois, Wardley, and if Bacoli can get a win, Bacoli. But, damn. Savage Sam Parker says, I backed Fabio to win and it paid off. I always knew he would be a dangerous threat because I didn't buy into the hype surrounding Parker. See, I agree with parts of that and I disagree. I've seen a lot of people do this now. Like, oh, look, Wilder was old, Zhang this, Bacoli took it on 2 days' notice. He still beat those guys. And Joseph was really good on Saturday. Prior to that knockout defeat or the early stoppage, whatever you want to call it, he was up on everyone's scorecard. Like everyone ringside had him like 4 or 5 up. Everyone, the TalkSport boys, just boxers ringside. I always go around and I always ask. Obviously, DAZN, I think, had him up. I think Carl Frampton was doing the unofficial scorecard, so he looked really, really good. But Fabio just punches like a horse. Like he hits so hard, and every time he landed, it looked like he hurt Joseph. And credit to Joseph. I mean, Joseph withstood so much punishment. So did Fabio. But that second round, Joseph was out on his feet. And if he didn't spit out the gum shield, could have been done in the second round. Imagine what statement that would have made. Crazy. Ade, if you had to put money on who the best heavyweight will be after Usyk's gone, who would you go with? Itama is the easy answer, but I've personally been more impressed by what Wardley's done. None of those two. Caballero, I think Caballero is second, and I think the gap to third is quite big. So it's Usyk, it's Caballero, and then it's whoever. So I think Caballero, and Caballero's still, he hasn't got much miles on the clock. He needs to get a lot of respect, Caballero. What Caballero's done in recent times has been good. Like Arslanbek Makhmudov might not look like the biggest of wins, but we did see what Makhmudov did to Dave Allen. He broke him, and he broke Zhang in half as well. Like these are very good victories. And Frank Sanchez. So he's run a Frank Sanchez, Arslanbek Makhmudov. By the way, underdog in, I think, the Zhang fight. That Makhmudov fight, I can't remember the odds, but it was close. Definitely underdog against Zhang. So, yeah, for me, without a doubt, Cabial is the second best heavyweight, without a doubt. Where are we on this one? Hi, Ade. Can I come on your show on like a video call to talk about sports like F1, football, and boxing? Because I remember you said you would create a link for your subscribers to chat with you. We're kind of a million miles away from that at the moment. No, there is a chance that we do something like that. I did it before. I don't know if you guys know what Lucas is talking about. There was a time, maybe about a year ago, maybe a bit longer actually, where I just sent out the link and got people on. But there's a couple of times when it went a bit crazy and people's cameras were all over the place, and I think it looked a bit messy. It will be difficult to do, but never say never. Never say never. If boxing was just, Fabio Wardley and Joseph Parker would be fighting a rematch for the WBO belt, and Cabial would be fighting Usyk. Cabial keeps getting looked over. I don't know if he's getting looked over, Cabial, because you could say the same thing about, you know what the issue is? The issue is that Usyk's fought Fury twice back to back and then fought Dubois. And those are bigger fights financially. Guys, this is how it works. I was speaking to a boxing lawyer yesterday. I was at an event and there was a lawyer there of a big name boxer. I don't want to say who it was. And we were just talking about what goes on behind the scenes that we don't see. Fights being turned down, and you think, oh, the fighter's ducking, and everyone, there's so much that goes on. So unfortunately, if you are a Cabial, you're just getting looked over because maybe it doesn't make dollars and cents, and maybe the other fights are easier. I don't know. But we'll see what he does in Germany. If he puts a lot of bums on seats in Germany, then who knows? He could become a draw. But sometimes, if you're Usyk, you're going to look at the number on the check to fight Fabio. You can look at the number on the check to fight Cabial. You're going to think, who is the tougher? You're going to go Wardley. You're just going to go Fabio. It's wrong, but it's kind of how it is. Super chat here from Matt Borgerson. Yes, thank you for the super chat, dude. Says, if you were with Team Wardley, would you give him one more fight against maybe Dubois or Cabial, or go straight to the big man? Like straight to the big man. Like, think about this for a second. AJ didn't even have an undisputed chance. Like, AJ has not had an undisputed fight. Wardley is about to do something that AJ hasn't done. You know, like, think about how crazy this is. Undisputeds do not come around that often. I mean, look how long it took for Fury and Usyk to be an undisputed fight, right? Was it 20 years or so, 25 years? So if you get the chance to take on an all-time great, you take it. You just take it. Even if you're not ready, you've just beaten Joseph Parker. If Joseph Parker was, I don't know, say it was like the way Moses beat Dillian White, you know, okay, maybe you need a few more rounds, but you've now had the wars. And by the way, we don't know how much these wars are taken out of Fabio. So I don't know how much Fabio has left. Like Fabio, like it's now 3 out of his last 4 fights have been wars. You can't have those all the time. So I don't think he can afford another war, because eventually, as good as his chin is, it will crack. It happens to everyone, right? Look at Golovkin. I remember when Golovkin couldn't be dented. All of a sudden, fucking Jacobs dented him and Derevyanchenko dented him. It's like, oh my God, he can be hurt. Like, so if I'm Fabio, straight to Alexander Usyk. Plus, the Alexander Usyk fight is going to be way more money than everyone that you mentioned on here. Another super chat says, hot take, but if I were to bet on Wardley versus Italma right now, I think Wardley is showing me more to win. As of right now, Italma needs more tests. Yeah, I don't even think that's a hot take. It's a good take. I mean, you know what we do know? And again, this is not Italma's fault. What we do know is that Fabio can get hit with a sledgehammer and not go down and keep marching forward. We don't know yet if Italma can. We just don't know. We just don't know. And until we do know, you just have to favor Fabio. You have to. You just have to, because we know Fabio can punch harder, I think, than Italma. I believe so. And we know he can take it. We don't know yet if Italma can. I'd like to think he can because I'm his biggest fan, but we don't know yet. We don't know yet. New member. Lovely. Thank you so much, Mr. Kashila. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. Um, um, Also, last one on this, and we'll go back to the questions. Also, love you, Ade, but I disagree with your take on not putting asterisks on Parker's resume. We have to remember Zhang put him in a life and death. This is why I don't put asterisks on it. Zhang put him in a life and death, and he came through it. He came through it. And I give you more props for coming through a life and death than just blasting someone out. There's something about you having to find something when it's fucking hard. That's why I give Wardley so much credit for beating Justice Hooney, because you've got to find something. It's almost easy when it's easy, right? When someone's smashing you all over the place and they're 300 pounds, as was Zhang against Parker, and Parker went down twice and he still had to find something inside to get up and beat this monster. No. There's no asterisks on it at all. You got to give that guy respect. You've got to. No? You've got to. All right. Where were we? Sorry, peeps. Just going to get in order. 2-6. Okay, here we are. We're back in order. Hello, Ade. Love your content. Keep up the great work. What are your thoughts on the rumored Andrew Tate boxing match happening on December 20th in Dubai? Was that supposed to say on Misfits? I have heard nothing about that. Even if it was the case, I won't be doing it because hopefully I'll be in Ghana. I think Matchroom have an event in Ghana the 20th of December, but that's crazy. And by the way, if that is the case, that's going to do astronomical numbers. Like astronomical, especially if it's like Darren Till. Do crazy, crazy numbers. But yeah, I won't be doing that. This one from Ishmael Azoka, who is a member, says, I think a huge part as to why Fury is avoiding AJ is because, as the Ngannou fight showed us, he can't fight against strong heavyweights that he can't bully. The only one I can think of is Klitschko, but still. No, I don't know what it is. You know, can I tell you what it is? Money. Fury wants as much money as humanly possible. That's all it is. I don't know if you guys saw on Friday at the weigh-ins, I spoke to Spencer Brown, who obviously works alongside Tyson Fury. And I said to him, look, is the big GK, Gypsy King, coming back? And he says, as long as they're, what did he say? 2 truckloads of cash. That's all about money. Like I'm telling you, like, again, this kind of goes back to what I said. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes that we're not privy to. Like, people will already be doing and asking the question about, okay, how much is in the fight? Is Turkey going to pay for it? If not Turkey, and remember, both of these guys now are used to that Turkey bag. If not Turkey, will it make enough on pay-per-view so that both get the number they want? Both of these guys are going to want an insane number. The number could be close to 100 million. It could be. I know it sounds crazy. The only person that can do that is Turkey. That won't do it on pay-per-view unless it does 5 million pay-per-view buys at $100 a pop. Not everyone's going to eat. So I think it always comes down to money. And if Fury isn't getting the money he wants, he ain't fighting. It's just that simple. You ain't going to do it. You ain't going to do it. Frozone De Niro says, just showing support, big dog. Appreciate it, my man. Appreciate you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, where are we? Oh, I saw a very good question. It's too hard to answer, but it's an interesting one. If you would do an all-time, now this is too many. 16. I can't do 16 all time. If you would do an all-time 16-man light heavyweight tournament, who would get in and who would win? Say this though on that. Now, you know what? Yeah, you know a man that is deeply disrespected. Like I was doing this person versus this person recently, and I said Kovalev versus Beterbiev, and I think people have forgotten how good Kovalev was. I think people forgot. I remember when Kovalev came over here and bashed up Nathan Cleverly, and Nathan Cleverly said he felt like he was getting hit with a baseball bat. That's when Kovalev was serious and wasn't on the drink. That guy could fight. That guy could I still believe he'd be Andre Ward, and he didn't get that win. It's a bit like GGG not getting the win over Canelo. I think he beat Andre Ward in the first fight. I digress. I think, it's tough. Who comes out on top in the last, let's just say who comes out on top in the last 10 years? I think it's very, very difficult to beat peak Beterbiev. I think he's a monster. And you guys know who I'm rooting for. But I think, remember, by the way, my guy beat a 40-year-old or 39-year-old. I'm talking Beterbiev 32, 33. Wow. Jesus. What do you think about Cabiel's top 5 heavyweight list outside of him and Usyk? It was a few days before Parker Wardley. Parker, Dubois, Wardley, Okoli. Oh, this is what Cabiel did. This was before. Okay, 1 second. Parker, Dubois, Wardley, Okoli, Hergovich. Interesting. Not mad at that. Not mad at that at all. Parker, yes, top 5. Dubois, yeah. Wardley now, but would make sense now, but maybe not then. Okoli's interesting because Okoli's always called out Cabiel, wants that fight. So maybe there's been a little sparring story or war between those two. Not mad at that. You can't have Joshua in. You can't. Like you guys know, I love AJ, but you can't have AJ in, and you can't have a Talma in either. You can't have a Talma in. I think a Talma's got the potential. Like if we're just going off potential, yeah, top 5 potential. But in terms of who have you beat? In order to be in the top 5, you have to have beaten someone in and around that top 5 at least, no? So it's a bit of a surprise for Okoli, but maybe he just respects Okoli's run at cruiserweight, or maybe that win at bridgeweight. I don't know. It's interesting. Sporty Sports says, if we get Usyk Wardley next year, do you think it's more likely to land in the UK or the Middle East? UK. I do think that Turkey's seen just the size of fights over here now. I think we've seen it. And that's why a lot of the most recent big heavyweight fights have been over here. Usyk Dubois was over here. AJ Dubois. I think we've seen now just the numbers. Like both of those fights I just mentioned, 90,000 plus. Would Wardley, Usyk do that number? I don't think so. You never know. You never know. Wardley put 21,000 or 20,000 in Portman Road raining for Justice Hooney. Do you know what I mean? So I think Wardley can shift some tickets now, and Usyk always shifts tickets. So I think it's likely, it's probably the fight that will likely land at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, because what's that, 60 odd thousand? If you do 50, it still looks full. So I think it's probably something that lands there. But yeah, hopefully it's a fight that happens over here. Hopefully. Usyk said, this is very dead. Usyk said 5 more fights after Wardley and Cabiel. What 3 fights must be his last 3? Random names: Hergovich, Okoli, Ajagba, Sanchez, Bacoli, or skip the line candidates. Joshua. Yeah, that well said, Mr. Very Dead. It will be skip the line candidates. Once he's got through a couple of these mandatories, so everyone can kind of get off his back a little bit, because everyone seems to be on his back about not fighting the next man up. So once he's skipped through Wardley and Cabiel, and he will skip through those guys, and then it will just be a case of, okay, look, I'm 40. I just want the biggest fights financially. And those 3, if they're still about, will be the biggest fights financially. So I think it will be the 2 you just mentioned, and then those 3, if he stays for 5. I can't see Usyk staying for 5. I can see Usyk having 2 more fights, then he's done. He's done. I think he'll be done after that. Look at this. Look, it's a bit cheeky. I almost want to send him this money back. Base the Kid says, you'll never walk alone, but you can cry by yourself. Yeah, we're not talking football. We're banning football from this live. No football talk. No football talk until Liverpool win a game. And our next game's fucking Crystal Palace at home in the League Cup, and then Villa. Palace are going to do us, ain't they? They're going to do us. How good do you think Giorgio Visioli is? He's from my neck of the woods, so hopefully he is good. I mean, we don't know. Obviously, he looked okay in America. He's got a fight coming out. I saw it announced December 17th. It's a step up for him. I always kind of reserve my opinions on guys coming through, because you don't know until they match you. For example, now, George Liddard is a great example. If anyone asked me about George Liddard before Kieran Conway, I was like, don't know. Now that he beat Kieran Conway, I'm like, okay, I do know. I do know now, because you're British level, you're British champion. So Ask me that question when he takes a big step up, and then I guess we'll have it. Faz says run back Parker versus Wardley because the fight shouldn't have got stopped, so makes sense. The way Parker performed, I had him winning the fight and deserves a rematch and do Usyk versus Caballero next. Nah, you don't. You know what it is? It, why run it back if the fighter in question that you think is hard done by, i.e. Parker, isn't asking for it to be run back? Like Parker's not asking for it, nor is Andy Lee. And Spencer Brown, I haven't seen him ask for it either. Or what's his manager's name? Dave Higgins. I haven't seen anyone from Team Parker ask for it. I think you're right. In a way, I think you're right. I think we should see it again. But they need to scream for it. They need to scream for it. It's a bit like when Paddy Donovan got disqualified against Lewis Crocker. Look how mad Paddy went. See how mad he went in the ring? And it almost forced it. Like, okay, we have to do it again. And then it became bigger. Joseph Parker walked out the ring. I didn't even get a chance to interview him because I would have asked him, do you think it was stopped early? And Andy Lee, although very respectful, would have, I think, took the mic and said yes. And then it forces the narrative, okay, we need to see it again. Like, they're not asking for it, so maybe it doesn't happen. You mentioned in a previous video that if Wardley lands on Usyk clean, it's game over. How do you know for sure, considering Usyk has been hit by Joshua, Fury, and Dubois on the chin and never been dropped? It's a good shout. No, you are correct. You are correct. I think he hits harder than all of those guys, by the way, that you just mentioned. I think Fabio Wardley hits harder than Joshua, Fury, and Dubois. I really do. I'm not even like I've been rings. He certainly hits harder than Fury, and Dubois can crack as well. But like guys, I was there for Wardley versus Fraser Clark. I haven't seen anything like that. I haven't seen a fighter's face disfigured like that by a punch. I haven't seen it. And the way in which Fraser went down, I still have like nightmares of just that vision. I was there when he put Adelaide on his ass. I was there when he done Gorman. I've actually been there for all of these fights. This guy fucking hits, man. Like he really hits hard. That being said, you are correct. Usyk has a chin. But I do think he can hurt Usyk. I think I've stepped over the mark by saying game over, but he can most certainly hurt Alexander Usyk. Most certainly. Most certainly. Follow up to earlier question. Who are your top three most entertaining domestic fighters to watch? For me, Wardley, Connor Walker, and Lee Wood are always good value. It's not bad. That's not a bad lineup. Connor Walker, always good value. He fights Pat McCormack, doesn't he, on this Monaco card? He's gonna have to be a bit more than good value to get through that. Wardley, yes. It's good. That's a good free. Nick Bull, always good value, always comes. Doesn't get the knockdowns or the knockouts like vicious ones, but always good value. But there's carnage with those three guys you just mentioned. And because they get hit a lot as well, I guess it kind of goes both ways, right? So yeah, I would actually go with your free. I think that's a really good free. Dylan Goodrich says Wardley was close to stopping him in two previous rounds before the bell saved Parker. Parker wasn't replying with punches. Good stoppage. We saw what Fabio did to Clark. You know what? Good stoppage. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because ultimately, you don't want to see someone hurt badly. I mean, it's the hurt business, but you must have to save these boxers from themselves. I just having watched it, obviously ringside, I was only a few feet away, and having watched it up close, I think he came in way too early. It actually surprised me. I was like, oh my God, what's Howard Foster doing? I actually thought something happened. Like, oh, is he stopped it and then he stopped. I was like, is he crazy? Like, what's he doing? You can't just stop that. I don't think you can stop that. I don't think a lot of the punches were landing clean. But I don't know, man. I think it's too big a fight to jump in like that. This ain't no bloody English title, Southern area. This is for the right to fight Alexander Usyk. And this is an experienced fighter in Joseph Parker. What he should have done And this is something that American refs do way more than English refs. Show me something. Like you hear them, they're actually giving you like a point of okay, I need to do something. American refs say all the time, you got to show me something, and then they jump in. So they give you that. And I'm thinking Howard Foster just needs to scream to Joseph, you got to show me something, and then jump. And I think if he says that, I think Joseph has a go, but he doesn't even give him that opportunity. And I'm like, how are you not giving big Joseph Parker that opportunity? So yeah, I think it was a bit. I think it was a bit early. I think it's a bit early. Again, I mean, get your opinions in. I'll read out as many as possible. I think it's a bit early though. I do. Um, uh, Lionel Kashila with the big super chat says, Ade, are you looking forward to Grand Theft Auto 6 in 2026? Hope doesn't get delayed. You should get PS5 Pro or PC. I'm a big Arsenal fan. Hope Liverpool can recover in the next few games in the Premier League. You clearly don't hope. You clearly don't. You know what? Yeah, I'm not really into consoles like that. You know, I might get into them, but I'm not really into them as much as that. There was a time, I think maybe because when I was young, we were so broke, we never had the opportunity. I used to go around friends' houses and play. So I was like, I never really got into it. And now I've got a couple of quid in the back pocket. It's like, should I? Shouldn't I? I don't know. Um, Crosshair says, don't you believe Parker showed us the best him in his current state? More active offensively, eating a lot of Fabio's shots, showing experience with those technical shots. Parker was too tired though. I thought Parker looked good. There was a few times when he threw sort of 4, 5, 6 hooks. Did anyone see that? Like 4, 5, maybe an exaggeration. Like 3, 4 hooks. I thought his punch selection was good. I thought he started to read Wardley. I do think a little bit lighter. Like his career weight has been 230, 240. Obviously, he's put on size now. He's in his 260s. I'm thinking maybe a 250, maybe. He did look tired, but ultimately it was a fast-paced fight. But I thought Parker looked really good, like really, really good. And that's why I did a video the other day saying, if you're Parker, rest up, heal up, and then you've got literally at least 10 fighters you can fight. Parker can fight a Coley. Parker can certainly fight Dubois. He can certainly see what goes on with Cabial. Who else can he fight? He can fight Joe Joyce if he wants. I don't want to see Joe Joyce fight, but Joe Joyce beat Parker. Parker might want a bit of get back. There are loads of fighters he can fight. He's okay. He just needs to rest up because he took a lot of punishment on Saturday. A lot of punishment, guys. Like, I haven't looked at the punch stats, but he got hit hard a lot of times, like big shots. They take a while to recover from, man. They really do. All right, where are we? Read that one. Okay, this is pretty much what I was saying. Parker came in a bit heavy on fight night. If he comes in 10 to 15 pounds lighter, it will help him with his gas tank and can beat Wardley in a rematch to a point. The issue though with coming in a bit lighter. There's a reason a lot of fighters come in heavy. It's the ability to absorb shots. They think of it, and I guess there must be some sort of science around it. That if you are a bit heavier, you can absorb the punch power. That's why I don't know if you guys remember, John Fury was, I think, upset that Fury, I don't know if it was the first fight with Wilder or the second fight, wasn't as heavy as he should be, and he came in a bit heavier in the final fight because they assume you can just take more punishment. But yeah, I think the reason he wanted to get bigger was because he fought undersized against Zhang, and he thought he was going to have a rematch against Zhang. Zhang being 300 pounds, he thought he needed to get a bit bigger. The rematch didn't happen with Zhang. He maybe didn't need to go to 260, maybe. Alfie Black says, people have to realize a stoppage looks different in the ring than it does on TV. Yeah, but I think we've got enough cameras that you can see if it's you can tell if it's a bad stoppage. You can tell. I was going to try and stick up for Howard Foster there, but you can tell. When it's a bad stoppage. Like we've seen so many angles of that stoppage now, and there's no defending it. It's bad. It's early. Yeah, it's just early, isn't it? It's a fraction early. Again, for me, tell Parker you're going to stop it. Like, again, show me something. It's 3 words. Show me something. Bang. That's it. And then you haven't shown me. Like, you can't be angry. I've said, show me something, and you haven't shown me it. Give him a chance, man. Give him a chance. All right. What's this one? Simon Jones. Hey, Ade. Been stuck in bed with a fever and cold shakes. Jesus. But there is something good to come of today. Glad the lives are back. They're back. We ain't fucking about the lives. We ain't mucking about. We ain't mucking about. I do honestly think Fabio and Moses being in the same gym will be a problem. Also, I saw Dillian on Saturday. Man looks like he's constantly on smoke and not afraid of anyone. Yeah, Dillian ain't afraid of anyone. Trust me. It is a problem. I did a video about it today. I don't know if you guys have seen my video. You can't have two alpha males in the same weight class in the same gym. Like, no. One's like ranked number one now with the WBO. I think Moses is highly ranked with the WBA. Like, I mean, both of these guys want world title shots in the next 12 to 18 months. Like, they can't be in the same gym. I'm sorry. There's going to be a problem. There's going to be a problem. There's going to be a problem. Ian Hamilton says to compare him to Wilder is a bit off in terms of power. Wilder knocked dudes completely out and on their back. Fabio doesn't scare you with his KOs. I'm sorry. The KO of Fraser Clark scares me. If that doesn't scare you, seeing a guy with his face caved in and his jaw looking like it's hanging off, if that doesn't scare, I don't know what does. I don't know what does. He scares me with his KOs. I'm frightened by his KOs. Like, every time he punches you, I'm not joking. Being ringside, every time he threw, everyone's like, ooh, because you just like that. You're like that with him now. Like, oh my God, anything could happen with him. He most certainly scares me with his KOs. He does. Don't wrong. Look, Wilder put some people to sleep. I mean, the Bermain Stavern one, where his legs collapsed beneath him, and the Artur Spilka one. But he's up there with that type of power. Like, he really is. And also, look at who he's putting to sleep. He just put he knocked out Joseph Parker, or stopped him. Stopped Joseph Parker. Man. Ade, how was the boxing, and what do you think is next for Joe Parker? Boxing was okay. The co-main event wasn't great, was it? Let's be honest. It wasn't great. That Alder Die versus Rolly Lambert. Rolly Lambert looked like an Olympian. Like, he had muscles all over the place. He had muscles on his eyebrows, but then just didn't want to fight. I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, your chief support in a pay-per-view card, and you are not doing anything. Wasn't a good look. As for what next for Parker, rest. But the issue is, for Parker, he's not fought that much, has he? So he's going to want to heal up. What are we? October, November, December, January, February, March. Probably be out again April, May. Probably he'll wait to see what Adelaide does, what Okoli does, what Caballero does, who Dubois is fighting, and then he'll make his decision. But he'll be back. Who do you think AJ will fight next? Ain't got a clue. I'd love to just say a name. I genuinely have no clue. No clue. I almost want to be surprised, and it's like, oh my God, he's fighting Bakoli. Ain't gonna happen. I feel like it might lean towards Tony Yoka, maybe. I think that's kind of where it's going, or at least that's where it seems to be going. Honestly, ain't got a clue. 2 secs, people. I'm getting a lot of questions about when is G-Man. Leave G-Man alone. Mohammed Zain says prediction for Buatsi Parker. Now, I would 9 times out of 10 say Joshua Buatsi. I still think it will be Joshua Buatsi. I don't know what that punishment took out of him, That Callum Smith fight, and when was it now? I can't remember the date of it, but that was a lot. February? Was it February? That was a lot, wasn't it? Like, that was a lot of punishment. I haven't seen him get hit like that. I mean, you know what? Buatsi gets hit, They look at Craig Richards fight, Dan Aziz fight. He always comes through it. Willie Hutchinson fight. But he got hit a lot. So I think Buatsi will win. I'm almost certain he will win. But I don't know. Like, sometimes those type of fights just creep up on you, and you realize there's not much left. Like, how many times can you go to the well? Like, guys, I was again lucky ringside, and I could see him like having to bite down on his gum shield every time Callum Smith landed those body and headshots. It was, mate, that was a hard fight to watch. Hard fight to watch. Thoughts on a potential fight between Agit Kabayel and Tony Yoka? Yeah, it's been rumored. Kabayel. But I will say this: Tony Yoka, I know he's not looked great. That boy's been going for a lot outside the ring, which I don't know if everyone knows about. I'm not giving him an excuse. I don't know him personally, but I do know that he's had big issues outside the ring, which surely are going to affect you. And he can box, but ultimately Kabayel is just too good right now. Too good right now. A couple of super chats. Where are we? Crosshair says, with JP's loss, what is his rank now? From number 2, does he really drop down low in the ranks, even with what he displayed? He should drop to, what is that? He should drop to 150, 15 pounds, work on stamina. Also drop some weight, basically, work on stamina. Parker took punishment, but never dropped. I don't think he drops that low. It wasn't like he got splattered. I think he's still very, very high. Like he's definitely still, like, without a doubt. I don't know if you're suggesting he's not top 10. He's most certainly top 10, maybe even top 5 still. Like, he's not, like, Parker's very, very good. Like, Parker, is a problem for all the heavyweights. Like, he's always in a good fight. So no. You don't come off the run that he's had and lose semi-controversially and then drop sort of out of the ranking to me like that. I don't think so anyway. Who's this? I sent a £5 super chat early, didn't answer. Let me see if I can find it. Apologies. Let me see. Okay, is this the one? I think this is. Hey, Ade, I can't wait to see you, but I think Wardley is number 2 because who did Kabayel beat last? Parker beat Zhang too. No. Pause. Stop it. Stop it. No, Kabayel is the second best heavyweight in the world. He is the second best heavyweight in the world. He is. Again, Kabayel's run, correct me if I'm wrong, is Frank's. I don't know in which order, but Frank Sanchez was definitely number 1. Frank Sanchez. Then was it Makhmudov Zhang? I think it was. Sorry, come on. And by the way, stoppages. So no, Kabayel. Kabayel might be the best body puncher in boxing right now as well, by the way. Really fast feet, gets in close, smashes you to the body, gets out, comes back in with headshots. Kabayel is so good. So good. Kabayel could be a problem to Usyk. That's how good Kabayel is. So yeah, Kabayel definitely, for me, is the second best heavyweight. Good question. Apologies that I missed your super chat, dude. But really good question. All right, where are we? What's this one? My other question, I don't think I read your first one, is how would you feel about Parker versus Sanchez and Dubois versus Bacoli? Take my money. The problem is with Sanchez, he can be a bit negative and boring. He can be. Like, sometimes you feel like, come on, get going. But technically, he's very, very good. I just wonder about his legs. Like, even he had a knee brace on. I don't know if you guys remember against Kabayel. He had an issue there. So I just feel like his body's falling apart. I don't know how old he really is. But Dubois versus Bacoli, fucking hell. Yes, please. Yes, please. If Bacoli can get in shape. I saw Dubois on Saturday, looked in shape, always looks in shape. Can someone tell me why Martin Bacoli cannot get in shape? Is that like, what is it? Why? Why? And you know what's crazy about Bacoli is Bacoli, like, you go and look at Bacoli, go into BoxRec and look at Bacoli's weight, right? It shows you on BoxRec if you guys don't know. Bacoli wasn't this big before. Like, it's not like Bacoli's always been this 293. No. Bacoli fought, my brain's going to be a bit. He fought Sergei Kuzman, I believe, and he weighed 250 pounds. He's not this giant. So if you were that weight before, you can get to that weight again. Jeez. All right. Oh, this was your first question. Even Ade, would you rather have AJ's career or Fabio's? AJ, stop it. What are we doing? Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this to my AJ. Don't do this to my AJ. Bill Knows Boxing says, hi, Ade. What do you think about Liverpool at the moment? Who would pay for White, Chisora 3? They are both done. What about Cabiel versus Dubois? All right, few questions there. Let's get to Liverpool one at the moment. We suck at the moment. We've lost 4 league games in a row. We're awful. We're awful, and it's a crisis, and pressure is on. Pressure is on Arne Slot. Pressure's on, not because he's lost 4 in a row. Pressure's on because he spent 400 million in the summer. This is how it works. It's the business. Who would pay for White versus Chisora? Quite a lot of people. And this is the reason. You know, when you say they are both done, we know that because we are, I'm guessing most people are on this chat right now are kind of big boxing fans. There are some people that are not big boxing fans and will see these guys at the press conference and they're going to do madness at the face-off and they're going to go crazy. And people are like, I'm buying that. And then replays of their first 2 fights will be shown and repeated. And you're gripped. People will buy it. I'm telling you now, people will buy it. It will sell because these could, like, even when they was on stage with each other, you kind of felt there's a bit of electricity between the two. People will buy it. What about Cabiel versus Dubois? I mean, Dubois asked for it, didn't he? He said, I'll fight him now on stage. Said, I'll fight him now. It's a good fight. It's a good fight. You favor Cabiel because Dubois has just recently been knocked out. But, I mean, Dubois has beaten 3 guys that you favored the other guys against him, and he found a way, right? So who knows? Who knows? 2 seconds. What are my thoughts on Eubank versus Ben 2? I haven't really thought about it, if I'm honest with you. Parts of me thinks it's going to play out exactly the same. And there's another part of me that believes Connor's a bit more experienced. Eubank's older. He's still trying to make the same weight as you get older. That's not easy. But I do think Eubank's just a bit too big. He looked so much bigger on the night. But I think Connor won't be as reckless, and it'll be more of a tactical boxing match like their dads did in the second fight. Think about that. Thoughts that Vidal Riley is mandated to fight Alois Jr. That's not happening. Alois is likely to fight in Germany against the guy, that Udadai, that fought on the chief support on Saturday. So they're not looking at that fight. Bit of news for you. Dylan Goodrich super chat says Wardley Dubois, good fight. Fabio makes him quit. You know, this quit thing with Dubois, like obviously we know what happened with the Joe Joyce one. That's when Joe Joyce was just quite scary though. Like he's not quitting. He's just getting beat. Like, did people think he quit against Usyk? Is that the thing? The second fight, the first fight, maybe kind of just like, enough's enough. Like, I feel like Dubois gets quite disrespected. Like, I think Dubois is good. He is a bit of a bully, and when he gets bullied back, I think there's a problem there that they need to work on. Let's see if Tony Sims can work on it. But he's a good fighter, man. He's a good fighter. It's crazy now. A lot of people think that Fabio can beat a lot of these guys now, right? That's what happens when you put in a good performance like he did. 2 secs. 2 seconds, people. I think this John Presley one says, Ade, lately you're a shit starter. I think he means shit stirrer. I think he was, he started typing and he's got it wrong. I don't believe I am, if you shit stirrer, but you got to ask the questions. It's funny because some people say you don't ask the tough questions. Then when you try and push it, you're like, oh, you're a shit stirrer. Can't win. People, you can't win. People like John will always find a way. Always find a way. But John, come on, get it right. Shit stirrer. Shit stirrer. Come on, dude. WBA Mitch has thoughts of doing a ranking show with Liam Goff, i.e. G-Man, whether that's with your episodes or separate, ranking current divisions or even historical topics, top 5 rematches, Mexicans, etc. Always down for good ideas. Something we could do. G-Man's in the chat, so I'm sure he's thinking of that as well. Could Usyk versus Wardley sell out a huge stadium like Wembley? You know what it is? The Brits just like boxing. So I would have probably said no, but I didn't expect Usyk versus Dubois to either. But I think that there are no better fans than British boxing fans, and if it's a summer, it's a night out. I think it could get close. And again, you look to see what could be on the undercard. I think it'll get close. I think Usyk's got a big fan base over here, massive fan base. Usyk's his last 3 or 4 fights over here have all been stadium fights, right? So yeah, maybe. I would more like to go to Tottenham because that's what 30,000 or so less. I'm confident they could do Tottenham. Wembley's a big push. It's a big, big push. Stavros, I can't pronounce your surname. Kotirides says, even at 8, what do you make of Parker's weight? I think the 245 pounds Parker versus Shang would have boxed smart for 12 rounds and beat Fabio without too much trouble. I think there's a part of Parker that wanted to go toe to toe with Fabio. There's a lot of talk about Fabio being the biggest puncher. And I think Parker was like, okay, we'll see. Because there were times when Parker just decided to stay right in the firing line. And I think that was a case of, man, oh man, let's see what you got. So I don't know. I actually think a 245 pound Parker wouldn't have moved around. I think he still would have stayed in the center and traded. That's just how he fights. I think that's just him now. So I don't know if it would have been any different. I was at Crocker versus Donovan 2 and was wondering who Crocker's first defense would be. Has Belfast become one of your favorite cities to a fight from? Yeah, I mean, I think any place in Ireland, I think the Irish are just sensational fans. I'm hearing a lot about Liam Parrow, a lot about Liam Parrow. That doesn't seem to be going away. Eddie's mentioned it as well. Obviously, former IBF champion at 140 pounds, lost to Richardson Hitchens. He's now moved up to 147. I'm hearing that. I don't know how big a fight that is. I don't know. It certainly doesn't do Windsor Park, but it will do an arena there. But that's what I'm hearing. Let me Ace says Wardley may be the most exciting fighter in the world currently. A bit of coconut water. Yes. I was thinking about that. Because I said it's Wardley, it's Benavidez. I think Benavidez is so exciting. And I said Virgil Ortiz is very, very exciting as well. But it could be Wardley just because Wardley's a heavyweight. We all like the heavyweights. It seems to be so much more chaotic when the guys in the ring are weighing 240 pounds plus and they're 6'4" and above. So it probably is Wardley. Dubois gives you value for your money. Yeah, Dubois does. Dubois is kill or be killed as well. You got to respect that. You got to respect that. 2 seconds, people. Thoughts on Bacoli's sparring stories? Yeah, they're the sparring stories now, aren't they? Like, the thing about Bacoli, yeah. Like, I am very high on Martin Bacoli. I still am. I dig him a lot because I feel like he's wasting an opportunity here, and that's what it is. I feel like there is an opportunity because of Turkey and Riyadh and what the money that they've invested into boxing. There's almost an opportunity to be overpaid. Like, we're being honest. Like, I'm hearing some of the numbers, and I'm like, it doesn't need to be that big. But if you're a boxer, this is the time to get the money, right? This is the time to get the money. You don't even have to be world champion. You don't have to be a top 5 guy. Bacoli isn't either of those things. So when I look at Bacoli and I see a weight issue, not a talent issue, a weight issue. A talent issue is different because a talent issue, you've either got it or you haven't got it. I mean, you can improve on things, but whatever you got is whatever you got. A weight issue, I'm sorry, like you can lose 15 pounds. No joke, you can lose 15 pounds in 2 days. So why the fuck can't he do it? Oh God. Oh God. I don't know. Yeah, this is. I'm happy you said this. Am I dead yet? So some of the same ones that said Wilder and Zhang would beat Parker, then say, "Oh, they weren't that good anyway." Box, yeah, it's true. It's so true. I remember the Wilder one. Wilder was going to fight AJ. It was almost a formality that he beats Parker. Now, when Parker beats him, oh, he's done. Zhang, the same thing. Zhang was scheduled to have all these fights, and then all of a sudden, Parker beats him. Oh, Zhang's old. It's just like you can't win, man. You can't win. Will, I've been saying this for ages, Will. No one's listening to me. I hope Usyk retires, nothing left to prove, and only risking his legacy. I hope the same thing, but he's not going to retire. He's come out and said he's going to stay. But I'm with you. I've been saying that he should call it quits. I've said the same thing about Terence Crawford. These are guys that are, what, 38 and 39. Usyk's 39 in January. Age is going to be Usyk, and I don't want that. I don't want it to be a case of someone beats you because you're old. And that's what's going to be Usyk. It's not going to be skill. It's going to be age. Luke Shepard, Wardley's engine is insane. How can you throw that many in 10, then 11, even when he's being hit? Got stamina, amazing. Oh, good stamina, amazing heart. Yeah. I don't know if you guys heard me in the ring, but I gave a shout out to Boxing Science, who do all the S&C for a lot of fighters. They did it for me. They wrote me down my meal plan when I cut a bit of weight. They're so good. They're so good. They will get you as fit as humanly possible. They will do their bit, tick. And they obviously got Wardley into amazing shape. So yeah, credit to him. Credit to Wardley, man, for getting in that shape. Martin Bacoli should go to Boxing Science. In fact, I'm going to link them two up. I'm going to say, Martin, you need Boxing Science. Go to Boxing Science, Martin. 100%. Super chat. What's this? Part one. Oh, there's two parts of this. Cabiel, Moses, Fabio should fight each other for the right to face Usyk, or fight Sanchez for the right to. Cabiel, Moses, Fabio. Those three fighters should fight each other for the right to face Usyk. No. So what's Usyk gonna do? Just sit down and wait, like feet up, like that? Just chill, do nothing? No. He needs to fight. All right. What's part two? These guys are talked about so highly, yet they will not fight each other. Or the likes of Sanchez to earn said shot. Strange. Yeah, but you know what? No, wait, 1 second. Okay, Cabiel, you put Cabiel's name in there. Well, 1 second. You can't say these guys are talked about so highly. Fabio just fought Parker. Like, I get the argument about Moses, maybe, and Cabiel has fought Sanchez, who you talk about in this. Cabiel beat him. Are we forgetting that? Makhmudov and Zhang. So it's not like they're not fighting guys. Moses, yes, but you can't put Cabiel and Wardley in that. You can't. You can't, dude. You can't. You cannot. All right, let's see what else we are. Brandon Wright says, I think Ajagba or Frank Sanchez would be absolutely perfect for Moses. You know, I think they're pumping the brakes on Moses a little bit. I think there's now, this is just my own thoughts on it. I think there is now this, okay, let's build him properly. I think there's that with him. Like, and they've kind of made a rod for their back here because he's so ranked highly with a governing body. Was it the WBA? I think he's ranked highly with, that he's got to only take on the big boys. But really and truly, as a 20-year-old, he should be built carefully. I think the perfect opponent is Jermaine Franklin. I would go Jermaine Franklin all day long. Jermaine didn't look good in his last fight, but UK fight fans know him because of Dillian White and AJ, who both struggled against him. Both did. He will get rounds against Jermaine Franklin. And then I would try and sort of revisit the Michael Hunter thing. So I think those are two better names. I think Frank Sanchez is risky, like beyond risky. Like if you're a business, you don't fucking get Frank Sanchez. No way. F.A. Jagba, better. But Frank Sanchez could beat Moses. 100% could beat Moses. 100%. You don't do that. You don't do that. Screwdriver says, I hated the fact that Fabio Wardley versus Jarrell Miller never happened after Big Baby said Fabio Wardley made a diss track. Yeah, I was there. That's not the reason it didn't happen. But yeah, it's a shame that, right? That's an interesting matchup now. Like, would you just think Fabio knocks him out? Possibly, right? Probably. Yeah, I think. Yeah. This is an interesting one. Ollie Smart says, "Hi, Ade. Are you planning on getting any signed gloves to give away? I know you said about it a while. You know what the crazy thing is, guys? This is so easy for me to do. I just don't do it. Like, I'm trying to think of the next fight we're doing. Buatsi, Zach Parkerland. They're all there. I could literally just buy gloves and get anyone to sign them. I don't know why. I feel a bit like, because I'm on the broadcast, I feel like it's kind of almost something you shouldn't do. I don't know. We'll think about it. I might do it because I've mentioned to the members. Ollie's a member, that I do want to give away some gloves. So Ollie, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get some gloves and get them signed. I will. I will. Um, Nick Higgs, Ade, really enjoyed your post-fight interview with Wardley. Are your questions off the cuff or pre-planned to an extent? Also, where did you get that suit from? The suit was made for me. I forgot the company. As for the questions off the cuff, I swear to God, I don't know what. I get in the ring and I'm thinking, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? This is no bullshit. I have no idea. I see some people write stuff down. I think I see Mannix. Everyone's got their own. Mannix writes them down. I think Jamie Ward writes them down, but he's writing them down, and then he obviously doesn't look at his phone and then gets in the ring. I just fucking get in the ring. And I'm not trying to say that the way I do it is better, because sometimes I'm stuck for questions. But you know what it is? I want to go off what they're saying. I don't want to go off me. If that make any sense? Like, if they say something, I want to respond to them, as opposed to having these pre-planned questions. So yeah, that's so that hopefully that answers your question, Nick. WBA Mitch says, take Wardley to the US, blast out Anderson if he does come back. I wish there was big American options to have UK US fights. Yeah, that would have been nice. We do need that. I do think we need that kind of violence between the two countries. America have not had a heavyweight fight like that. I mean, I guess the last one was maybe Wilder Fury 3, which had knockdowns, right? Crazy. They just don't. The American heavyweight thing needs to be discussed bigger. Like, where are they? It's mental to think. And don't people like to say things like, oh, the MMA and NBA and MMA. So NBA was there before, NFL was there before. Do you know what I mean? That's the one thing I always hear. Like, all the big guys are going to the NFL or the NBA. They're always there. And NFL was always there. NBA was always there. Where are the heavyweights? Fucking crazy. And you go to America. I'm in America quite a lot. There's massive guys just walking around. It's regular. Strange. And very, very strange. All right, guys, last 10 minutes. Let's get as many in as possible as we can. What's this? Not disagreeing with your opinion on Fury, but I wonder if he says he isn't retiring to keep his name in the headlines. And it's always around when things go quiet about him that he says this stuff. Yeah. I have no idea what Tyson Fury's doing. No idea. I genuinely believe he wakes up and thinks, nah. And then he wakes up and thinks, yeah. I think it's that. I think we maybe overthink what he's thinking. I just think he wakes up and sometimes he's like, oh, fuck this. You know what I mean? He looks at his bank balance and it probably says 250 million. He's probably thinking, nah. And then he looks at his knuckles. He's thinking, one more knock. I think he changes his mind every second. Not a bad thing. I get it. I get it. He doesn't need to box. He's probably thinking, I don't need my head to be punched in anymore. Like, we're good. We're okay. And then he's thinking, but I like punching people's heads in. It's true though, isn't it? True. You know, this number makes me laugh. Like, where do people get this stuff from? Usyk got $132 million. Don't know where people get these numbers from. Honestly, like there are times, yeah, that I'm around with the zone execs, and we just look at some of the stuff that people say. And we're like, the fuck's he got that from? Like, that's one of them. Like Usyk getting 132. If you believe that, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know where you. I don't know why you would think that's the case. Usyk got $132 million for fighting Danny Dubois. You really believe that? Crazy. That's actually quite crazy. That's crazy. What's this one? Don't you believe that Parker showed better action offense than any of his past fights? I feel a lot of people are overlooking how Parker performed after a lot of ring rust. Everyone was assuming he'd happy. Great point. I mean, Parker had only fought like 4 minutes of action in like 16 months. Like, it was a long time. Like literally, those 4 minutes were against Martin Bakoli. I thought Parker looked really good. I thought Parker looked really, really good. I didn't even get the idea or sense ring rust. I thought he looked sharp. I thought he got hurt early, which he had to recover from. I think it took him a couple of rounds to recover from that second round beating he took. But I thought Parker looked good. Theo Wildridge says, Ade, love your content since the start. Thank you very much, Theo. Isn't it a bit suspicious what is going on with AJ? When you say suspicious, what do you mean, Theo? Like you want to know, like suspicious? I don't understand. Um, I think AJ is almost a bit like Fury. I just wonder if AJ wants to fight anymore. If I'm honest with you, I think AJ does quite a lot out of boxing now. He's got a massive property portfolio. Just wonder if the hunger's still there to do it. Like it must be weird when you're coming through and that hunger's there, right? It must be so strange. Like that's why you always got to rate someone like Floyd and Canelo, like still seem to find the hunger. But when the hunger's there and you're coming through and you want the belts, you want money, and that's the two things you're fighting for. What is it you fight for when you've achieved the money and you've achieved the belts? What's the aim? And I think Fury's a bit like that as well. So you know you got more money than you could ever dreamt about, ever. Right? AJ, a bit like Fury's probably worth 250, 300 million, maybe more. I don't know. You've had the belts, Olympic title. Again, your brain's okay. And you know the dangers. So I just wonder if I wonder if he's just deciding to either fight or pack it in. Who knows? I hope it's fight. Uh, 2 secs, people. There's quite a few super chats that I need to quickly read out. Otto can I send him that 199 back? Is that possible? Otto Volume. What's he doing anyway? Otto Volume, by the way. That performance against Chisora. I like Otto. I couldn't hold my tongue about that. I was so upset about that performance. Horrendous. Horrendous. This one, Abdullah Mason is only 5 months older than Italma. If he beats Noakes, he'll be the current youngest world champ. Don't sleep on him if he beats Noakes. Look, I'm not sleeping on Abdullah. I actually spoke to Abdullah. I did the Benavides Yard face-off, which comes out in a couple of days, I believe. I spoke to Abdullah that day. I interviewed him for the first time. Great guy. Like, honestly, one of the most respectful fighters. I looked at him like it was my son. I was like, my God, you're so nice. But there are still some holes. And this is the issue. As you say, he's only 20. So we are still seeing he's not like it's almost too early. But unfortunately, once you're there, a bit like Moses, you can't go backwards. But I see holes. If you can't see them, I don't know, but I can see them. He gets hit. So he's still working on things, but he's been thrusted into the limelight. Go on, win a world title. You win a world title and you're not ready. Your first defense, you're going to lose that belt. I hope he doesn't, because again, I like him, but it's a lot for him at the moment. That being said, he's obviously favorite to beat Sam Noakes, but Noakes could chin him. Noakes could chin him. All right, 2-6. Oh, it's interesting. Hey, Ade, if they both come through their fights in the next couple of months, what do you think of? I like that. I do like that. That's a good matchup. Look, ultimately, Riakpor's a bit too small for heavyweight, a bit too small. But he should come through his next fight. And Adelaide, I believe, will come through. I like that. It's a good matchup, you know. Adelaide should beat Riakpor, though. Adelaide is a natural heavyweight. And I think we've now seen him in against a good heavyweight in Hergovich, and he didn't embarrass himself. Looked good, didn't he? Adelaide, I'd have Adelaide to beat him. Does anyone know who Cabial is fighting in January? I do. I do. Yeah, can't tell you, but I do. Shall I give you a clue? He's unbeaten. He's unbeaten. That's the only clue I can give you. That's the only clue I can give you. If AJ had Fabio's chin, he'd do the same thing Fabio does. Yeah, but that's just not how it works, is it? If everyone had Fabio's chin, everyone would do something different. Oh, this is nice. You know what? I'd like to know the love he's got. That's very interesting. We love Wardley here in the States. I'd love to know what kind of how the American fight fans view Wardley. Very interesting to know that, because some crossover, I think Italma's crossed over to the States. People know Italma, and now obviously they know Fury. AJ doesn't get much respect from American fight fans. I think Wardley's probably got a bit of respect after that performance. All right, guys, last couple. I'm trying to just get something different. Oh shit! 1 second. I never understand why a fighter hurts. Why a hurt fighter must respond with punches to show they can continue. It just makes them more susceptible to being hit. Yeah, but basically, if a fighter's throwing their hands, it almost shows that they're conscious of what they're doing. That they're not out. That's pretty much what it is. So you're almost showing to the ref. It's almost like, like, this is going to sound a bit stupid, so bear with me. Any of you old wrestling fans here? Like fake wrestling. This is fake wrestling, where the ref would you'll be like pinned, and they'll pick up your hand and it'll go down. Then they pick up your hand and it'll go down. And if they pick it up, and then Hulk Hogan used to do that, basically to show that you are still sort of conscious of your senses. So that's what it is. You're asking a fighter to throw, because that means, okay, they're still there. That's all it is, basically. But look, it's a very good point. I get it. But that's kind of what it is. Are you still conscious of your senses? All right. 2 seconds, beep. All right. Frank Warren has said the Usyk versus Fabio fight could take place in Wembley Stadium. You know what it is about Wembley? It's just crap in it, Wembley. Like for fight fans, this is the problem. This is why Vegas fights are so good. Because if you go to Vegas, yeah, you've got so much to do. Like, it's incredible. The casinos, the restaurants, the bars, nothing beats a Vegas fight. If you are on this and you've never been to Vegas, put it on your bucket list. Wembley, come at the fucking station and you go down Wembley Way, and there's literally about 7 shops. There's not even a decent restaurant, I don't think, in and around there. There's nothing to do. Nothing to do. I'd actually prefer it in the O2, but obviously you make way more in ticket sales doing it at Wembley, obviously. But I think it's just a poor venue. I think even atmosphere is not great. I think Tottenham has a much better atmosphere, because the way Tottenham's shaped, it's almost like a bowl. Sorry, apologies. But Wembley's like a bowl. Wembley's like that, and the noise just goes out. Tottenham's kind of like that. Way better. Way better. Alexander Wilson says, I see mistakes in Mason, but Noakes has a lot of mistakes too, like leaning over his front foot too much, which makes him an easy target for Abdul. Yeah, look. If this is a boxing match, then I mean, you've got to favor Abdullah Mason. He's sharper, he's faster. But I think this might turn into a fight. And if it turns into a fight, I just feel like Sam Noakes could rough him up a little bit. Noakes most certainly hits harder. But look, I'm saying all that. I believe Mason will win. And if he does, then America has another world champion. And as you say, he's very, very young. I just feel like this might turn into a bit of a war. And if it turns into a war and he tries to kind of slug it out with Sam Noakes, I'm telling you now, he could get chinned. Could get chinned. Could get chinned. All right, guys. Last one. Last two. Before you go, please do me a favor. Thumbs up, please. The live if you've enjoyed it. We've tried to ask or answer a few questions. Share it, like it, all the good stuff. But let's see if we can get a couple more in very quickly. Asad Ijaz says, Ade, is Fury staying retired, or is he just driving the process up by those recent remarks about staying retired? Or did you say driving the process or driving the price up? Is that what you meant? I don't know. Yeah, price. Basically, it's almost a supply and demand thing with Fury. He's not there, so by default, the demand goes bigger. So because he's not there, the demand goes bigger, but he will be there when the price goes bigger. I have no idea what Fury's doing. I'd like to know it. I'd like to pretend I do. No one knows. No one knows. I like this one. I like this one. Who wins, Kakache Oshaku Foster? Remember, Kakache was supposed to fight Raymond Ford. That's such a shame we didn't get to see that fight. I would say, man, the Apache. The Apache. All right, guys, girls, peace and love.